The Republicans really wanted big cuts in the current year's budget, but 6.5 months overdue on a bipartisan vote of 260 to 167. It took Democrats to vote for this because 59 Republicans said no. The House finally passed the $1 trillion spending plan for just the rest of this fiscal year. It was advertised as spending cuts of $38.5 billion, but there's other numbers out there. To sort out all of this is Congresswoman Michele Bachmann. Congresswoman, thank you for joining us. And let me start with, there were 59 Republicans that voted against this budget. Were you one of them?
I was.
Did not surprise me. Why not?
I didn't vote for the bill because I felt that we needed to have defunding of Obamacare in this bill. Today, only 35% of the American people, or about 1/3, want Obamacare into law. They want us to defund this. They don't want the government to take over and run our health care. So 2/3 of the American people are with us on that issue, and I thought it was important that we fight. I also believe that we were given a mandate last November, and that's to dramatically cut spending so that we can get jobs created and the economy moving, and I felt that we didn't go far enough in that direction.
All right, we'll get back to that in a minute, but this Obamacare vote, there was a vote in the House, and the vote was no on Obamacare, but it went over to the Senate, and they said yes for Obamacare. So effectively, I mean, you're basically, isn't it just a political statement at this point until somebody gets some more control, or Republicans get more seats in the Senate?
Well, it is tough because we have the president in the White House who's firmly convicted that we will have essentially socialized medicine, and Harry Reid. But that's not what the American people want. They want us to fight. I firmly believe that if we take this fight all the way to the wall, that this is a fight that we can and will win with the American people. That's why it's my conviction that the best strategy is to fight hard, and fight now on this issue, because I think even if we push this as far as we possibly can, I think that ultimately Harry Reid and Barack Obama will have to bend on the defunding issue until we can get a new president in the White House. I think that they will bend because the American people will back us up.
All right, let's go back to the numbers and about this fight. Speaker Boehner originally said $100 billion, then it was $61 billion. Then it was advertised that there was a $38 billion deal, but the Congressional Budget Office that works for the Speaker says it was only $352 million. Can you sort this out? Because I'm wondering if he fought hard enough, and a lot of Republicans are starting to ask that question.
Well, that's right. The story came out in the National Journal that instead of being $38.5 billion, it's actually $352 million. And numbers are strange things. Now, to be fair to Speaker Boehner, it is the $38 billion. It's an authorization. And but the $352 million number is also true. What the CBO is saying, the Congressional Budget Office, is that we'll actually see cuts of that amount this year. John Boehner is correct in that over the years we'll see those cuts, but not necessarily this year.
Yeah, and that's where, again, there's got to be a lot of concern. You run the Tea Party caucus. You started it. You've said, come on in to our meetings, to the citizens out there. There's a lot of people that call my radio show that are saying, who are we going to believe? If these numbers are all over the map, and are we really going to get any cuts? There's a growing disenchantment within the Republican side.
Well, and I think that's the confusion, again, that it's important from our perspective that we let the American people know the truth. You can never go wrong if you tell the truth. And that's why I think it's very important that we explain how these numbers work. So it isn't that John Boehner wasn't telling the truth about $38 billion. It's just that it's an authorization that will happen over time. It won't all happen this year.
Yeah. The next round, of course, is the debt ceiling limit. And then after that, or actually, I don't know which comes first, the budget for 2012. You tell me which one is first, and how is that fight going to work out? Are we going to have another government shutdown?
Well, we just voted on Paul Ryan's budget on Friday, and that passed in the House of Representatives, and that's a tremendous change from the direction Washington, D.C. has been going. This is a very serious attempt by House Republicans to severely cut spending and also drive the deficit down. And also, it's an aspirational document. It says that our goal is to repeal and defund Obamacare. That's a very good thing, and that's the direction we want to go. But again, it's a statement of goals. It's not a piece of legislation. We'll see where this goes in the United States Senate. I hope Harry Reid will adopt the budget that the House put forward, although it's quite unlikely. Now, the vote for the debt ceiling, raising the debt ceiling, that's the amount of money that the federal government can continue to borrow. That's a vote that will be coming up in several weeks. I've already come out and said that I will be a no vote on that because right now the federal government, of every dollar we spend, 41 cents is borrowed. And I don't know about you or your viewers, but my husband and I couldn't live like that for more than a couple of months. And our federal government is no different. We can't continue living that way. So it's my opinion that we pay our bills first, pay the interest on the debt first, and we have to prioritize our spending. And we should. You can't have everything you want. And so we have to prioritize and just cut the spending. It isn't that the government just shuts down if we don't pass raising the debt ceiling. We have 6 or 7 months before we see a big change, but it will force Congress to prioritize. I think that's a good thing.
All right. The last question about the Tea Party. Since you run the Tea Party caucus, is the Tea Party, some reports are they're losing steam, others are saying they're gaining membership. Is the fire in the belly now still as strong as it was in November, and will it be there a year from now?
Well, remember what the Tea Party is. It is people all across the United States. It's not Congress. It's people across the United States, because the Tea Party caucus is a listening ear. We're not the mouthpiece for the Tea Party. We're the listening ear to the people. And the people across the country are more fired up than they've ever been. The polling data bears it out. The Tea Party is made up of Democrats and independents, libertarians, Republicans, and people who have no political persuasion at all. They just want America to get our financial house in order, no new taxes. They want us to balance our budgets and act within the Constitution. That movement is on fire, and it's racing up the charts right now. So we are gaining people nationwide because that's the message people want. That's why you're seeing President Obama having his lowest approval ratings right now, because the American people know that the president is all about increasing spending. He has no clue, unfortunately, with all due respect, how to have private job creation, and the economy is not doing what it should be doing. So the American people are rejecting President Obama's message.
Well, the economy is not working, yes. Michele Bachmann, Congresswoman from Minnesota, thank you so much.